It seems like I got nothing to do. Hit up SimFBall Radio. I'm listening to one of the top podcasts, and they bringing you the real. And when they talk sports, it feels like you on the wheel. From real talk to real sports, from Madden to 2K. Just listen for one day, they'll grab you when you say it's on the net, man. Turn off your stereo, not music. I mess with SimFBall Radio.
Well, there you guys have it. So, with the technical difficulty there out of the way, got the intro out there, and welcome to SimFBall Radio, guys. This is Smitty here, and my co-host, SimFBall, will not be on today, but I do have Azura. He definitely will be with us. He'll be joining us a little bit later, but yeah, most definitely, you guys are on the air with me for the time being, and got a few things here. You know what? I'm gonna have some callers call in and see. We got one in the queue right now, but I'm gonna definitely have you guys chime in. Like, I'm gonna go over the topics here real quick. We're basically, you know, I'm gonna touch on them myself, and then hopefully if Azura comes in, cool. If not, then, you know, I'll go ahead and you know, just like I said, let the callers get involved here on the line here a little bit sooner than expected. So for today's show, SimFBall Radio, and first of all, this is episode 65. And before I get started, even though it had a little system glitch, shout out to Jive Turkey, man, for providing us with the instrumental, you know, with the intro, little hip hop intro there. We definitely and we always appreciate his effort. And yeah, guys, as far as today's show is concerned, what we got, basically, 3 topics we want to touch on is what makes you pre-order a game. You know, we're going to look for a lot of caller influence in regards to that. So that's something that I definitely want to touch on, but I want to definitely see that expanded upon by you guys, by the callers. We want to know what your thoughts are in regards of it. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, we touched on it on last week. We talked about it briefly, but the 2K Pro-Am, you know, basically how do we feel about that? And has 2K, did they come out swinging, you know, out the gate in regards to competing with NBA Live? Because at the end of the day, the companies are competing for our dollars, and when they compete, we win. So, you know, it's a win-win for us, always. And then the lull period, which I think I'm going to touch on first here. And this is basically the dire time, that real quiet time. I mean, it's been going on for a little while now, but the quiet time when there really isn't much information, like we're seeing right now with Madden and even with Live. You know, all we're seeing is we're seeing screenshots. We're seeing, now we got team ratings being unveiled. You know, we had the top 5 players at the respective positions, but now we got overall team ratings broke down by the divisions. And then, you know, like I was saying, even within that, you get a player, you know, you get a few more player ratings here and there for both the offense and defensive breakdown. I think they're showing like the top 5 players. They show from what was on OS, from what I've seen. But yeah, outside of that, we're not really seeing gameplay. We're not hearing anything about features, especially with Gamescom going on right now. Like, I'm really shocked to see that Live hasn't put anything out yet. And I mean, they needed to be on the big stage when EA did their presentation on, I think that was on, Tuesday? No, yeah, like Tuesday, Wednesday morning. They needed to be out there on the 5th and just have their show out there and see what Live was going to give. I know that overseas sports titles aren't really the huge emphasis, but I'm sorry, that's a big platform to promote your game on. And I mean, you've seen FIFA get the promotion. Like, look at these games that got promotion. Mafia 3 got announced. You've seen a lot more. You've seen some more Star Wars Battlefront. You've seen Phantom Pain. They got a 30-minute demo gameplay video put out there. So, I mean, a lot of these games, they still got that chance to get that visual exposure. So, I can't really get, like I can't look at it and say, oh, well, it's okay that Live didn't show, because Live didn't sell that many copies, and they haven't been selling over the past, few 2 years. So you need to come out the gate swinging a lot harder than 2K would necessarily need to at this. But so let me go ahead and continue talking on this topic right here. And the number to call in, just in case people need to know, the number to call in is 516-453-9126, and then press 1 if you want to talk. And like I said, we're running things a little bit differently here since Azura's not on the line as of yet. So running it solo here. So, definitely if people want to call in, press 1. So then I see it light up here, and then I'll definitely bring you guys in accordingly once I touch on these topics here. So without further ado, like I said, I want to talk about this, the dull period, the period where there's basically no news, no gameplay really being shown, and just minor stuff, just expanding on it here. I mean, yeah, right now, this is the true calm before the storm. I posted pictures being funny about it before, talking about, posting the movie poster of the perfect storm, and seeing, and a bit earlier on, like when it was in June, that late June, like post E3, it became Groundhog Day. It became Groundhog Day, just like the movie. Like, people just basically were posting the exact same thing over and over and over again daily. So that worn down, that died down. Now you got people playing NCAA football for a little bit. But then as soon as August 26th comes around, or I should say at least in some cases August 20th, all that's going to pick right back up, and now you're going to have guys looking and playing the game and talking about the game, and it's going to go crazy again. And the way I feel about it, it's not, this happens every year. This happens every year. And but you can never truly get used to not getting information, especially the age that we're in and the time we're in when it comes to getting information and how we can get and gather and receive information. Like, there's so many methods now, Twitter and Pinterest and your Snapchats and your Facebooks and all that stuff. You have all this out here. And then there's nothing really being showcased and presented. Like, where's the information at? How come we haven't seen the gameplay? Because last year, remember, we had a live stream that was done like in July. So you had that live stream going on, and we at least had more gameplay to look at. At least we had some, we had the rundown of the features, the gameplay aspects, and then we had some raw gameplay there. They went onto the practice field, and you got to see things like, we saw the catch animations, we saw how the D-line play was with the wide nine. We saw, how the edge rushers were reacting. We saw how the zone play was represented and how that was reflected. So, we got to see, even when it came to passes being thrown and see guys still go for an attempt, even though they had no chance of catching it. Like, we saw all of that, so we got to see a decent amount of it. And now it's like we don't have any, we don't even have that. No streams, no anything. So, to me, is it a huge deal? No, not necessarily. But at the same time, it is a very dead, this is a very dead period right now as far as gaming is concerned, like sports gaming. Other games, yeah, it's nice to see, the other titles get the shine and get, unveiled. Like Mafia 3. I'm definitely, I enjoyed Mafia 2. So I'm definitely looking forward to Mafia 3. And same deal with Hitman, same deal, Hitman was back at E3, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. But, yeah. So as far as, like I said, as far as this area where basically it's just the void right now of emptiness as far as info is concerned. There's not really much to talk about, but that at the same time, I don't like, and like I said before, a few moments ago, I don't like what's going on with NBA Live. Like, I looked on the live Twitter account, and today they put out like the start menu, basically with Russell Westbrook dribbling and everything, just showing him in live action, and it's like, okay, from a marketing tease standpoint, okay, I get that. But the one thing I will accredit to Live is that they're promoting their game with confidence to an extent. But if they really want to be bold with it, they need to go ahead and release that gameplay. They need to put some gameplay out there, and they definitely need to put some mode information out here too. Like, what are we going to get that's going to be new in today's game? You know what I'm saying? So, but that's my feeling. That's my take in regards to that right now. Now going from that, I'll talk about this NBA 2K Pro-Am. I was very basic with what I said last week in regards of the 2K Pro-Am and what kind of detail it's going to have. All it really, like, to me, it's basically crew mode with team builder. You can customize courts and put logos on it and get all creative and everything. It's the same deal. Same deal. Now, my thing is, and I mean, look, people that love 2K and over in like that, that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking about from, let's skip past the fluff. And let's look at the reality of the whole situation here. One thing that's severely lacking in regards to 2K is that they're lacking on the server front. We're talking about the servers needing to be on point for all this to run. Because I mean, I looked at someone was live streaming yesterday, and they were talking about how oh man, I know the servers are going to have to be on point because they're talking about having all these teams and having these games and no wait times and all that stuff and everything. I'm like, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be legit, because remember, we said the same thing about the park last year. Oh, you're going to have all these people running around on all these courts, and then you got the rec center too? Oh man, so the server stability is going to have to be on point, because how they going to have all that? Like, we were all talking about, we were banking on that server being on point, the stability being on point, and it was everything but stable. And I mean, you had people, and I mean, shout out to my dude Shakedown. He even had a video where you had guys in the chat party like, man, if Live was out right now, I would mess around with that, and I would leave 2K alone. Like, I'd trade that sucker in right now and get Live. Well, this is gonna be a moment for put up or shut up in regards to 2K when it comes to online play. Because you have people that are going to get this game, 5 days early. They're going to get it on the 25th. Also, you have people that are going to have EA that have EA access. So you're talking about the Xbox One crowd that will be able to play this game 5 days early. Now, they won't be able to own the game 5 days early, because we all know with NBA Live, everything is on a limited basis. So, like you may get between 6 and 10 hours of time to play the game over those few days. Whereas, 2K, they're just saying, look, we'll let you outright get the game 5 days ahead. So what that tells me is that either A, 2K is in fear of, they're trying to retain the customers by giving that incentive, or B, they may actually have their servers on point. Like, it may be on point where, they have minimal issues as far as, user complaints. Because, I mean, look, there's always going to be some users that are going to get the 8.6 treatment for a little bit in regards to the game. That's always going to happen. It's unfortunate, but that's going to happen. And What I'm saying, though, in regards to the game that has me concerned is just that, like, am I overall fully concerned with the gameplay? No, I'm not. I'm not concerned about it like that. I know that the gameplay is going to be solid, so I know they're going to serve. It's going to be solid to a modest extent. It's just to what extent. Because like I said last week, and I've said it occasionally when we would talk about the basketball gaming, 2K, like, guys that work in the studio told me that the game was going to, that the suction was gone. And I'm talking, no, excuse me, not the suction was gone, I'm sorry. That the animation takeover was gone. They didn't say it was reduced, or they didn't say anything like, well, we made some progressive strides to eliminate it, so we got it, it's definitely going to be reduced. Like, no, I wasn't told that. I was told it was fixed. I was told that stuff was gone. It was eradicated. It was completely gone. And no, it was definitely there, clear as day. And same thing with the ball tangibility. It said the ball tangibility is so on point this year. No, it was not. And that's why I said, like I said before, that's why you see me playing this game on PC right now. Because PC has 2K14 where you can update all those rosters for free. You got guys looking at the 2000, like, oh man, it'd be awesome to have the 03, 04 Pistons in the game. And man, it'd be great if they had, the 2000 Raptors. They're in there. I'm like, with that roster mod, they're in there right now. See what I'm saying? So it's like they already got it. It was already done by the community. Like, that's the beauty of the PC gaming part. I'm just saying from that segment of it. You have that and then some. Like, you have, from the work that was done, well, you have over 50 years. You have over 50, you have over 50 years of teams. 50 years of rosters in one game. That's crazy. That's crazy. So this is why I'm saying, like, when I see these things, shown in the game, it's like, it's okay. Like, see, at first it was a big thing when I saw it. Like, okay, they got the international squads. All right, they got a few historical squads in there, so they're expanding from 2K12 with that whole theme, and then that's cool. But seeing what's done in 2K14, what guys did, with like the UBR roster mods, shout out to them. Hawk23, shout out to them. Like, with all that's been done, those rosters, I mean, it's like, by far, like, I'm set as far as gameplay is concerned. Like, the quality of the gameplay, like, because 2K14 on Gen 3 was a good game in my opinion. So I don't necessarily have any issue in regards to the game. So that's what I'm saying. As far as the quality of 2K16, they're gonna have to do a whole lot in terms of impressing me. Like, if they and the thing is, they're gonna have to do a whole lot of the small stuff as far as addressing these issues. If they address these issues, I'll be pleased. Finally, you know what I mean? And then I won't have a problem with getting the game day one. But the thing is, but I won't be getting it day one more than likely because I'm gonna have to wait and see from what other people experience. And like I said, I trust AZ and I trust Sim. Like, if they were to get it day one, and I heard from them in regards to the gameplay and the quality of it, I would definitely be able to take their word for it, hands down. So, and speaking of which, my dude AZ, he's in on the line right now. So what's going on, man?
I apologize for being late, man. Make sure you all go exercise your right to vote, not only in presidential races, but the people who make decisions in your neighborhood. So I had to go take care of that right quick. So that's why I am late. So excuse me for being late, but I had to go take care of my responsibilities as a citizen. But just on what we're talking about, man, 2K has earned that spot to me, like you were just saying, and that they have to earn my purchase. Last year, and I think maybe even the year before that, 2K14, I'm not going to lie, I've been caught up on the hype train. I've been at the point where I was like, you know what, they starting to show me stuff, and I was liking it. I got on the hype train with everybody else in this little lull period where there's no games to play, there's no NCAA, and I pre-ordered the game. 2K14, I bought it, hard copy. 2K15, I went ahead and said, I'm going to buy a digital copy because I liked what they were doing, but I still have skepticism. This year, my skepticism has reached an all-time high to where we haven't seen any gameplay to me. I mean, that's trailers and all that kind of stuff is great, but we haven't seen any just like straight-up gameplay from 2K16. So I'm on the fence about it until I can actually get my hands on it. I mean, shout out to the people who go out for community team up, but we all know that's a 2K hype fest as it is. Not saying that they need to bring the Sim standard in, Smitty, myself, or Sim, but until they get some guys in there who actually want to give feedback, and not just hype the game up and be used as YouTube promotion, I can't really trust them. I can't trust their word on it because I'm letting my video stand up that I did about how crew, Pro-Am is not crew. I mean, true enough, the details that we heard now have, fleshed it out a little bit more. But last year we heard that crew was back. And guess what? It happened to be for last gen. So if you didn't have a 360 or a PS3 anymore, you were discounted and you could not play crew. But the way they worded it, saying crew was back, was deceptive to me, and I didn't appreciate that. So now we're in a situation to where they have to earn my purchase. And I don't know if we've gotten into the topic, the community topic of, what makes you pre-order. But I'm not pre-ordering until I see Scott O'Gallagher, shout out to OG, or the Czar, Precise 40, put up some videos and see that these gameplay issues have been addressed, like selective ball tangibility, right, left-right cheese. Are people still able to make 7'2" point guards and play cheesily with them? And I understand that you can say, I've seen people say, oh, they're not hard to beat. It shouldn't even be that way. People should not even have the ability to play your game like that. You should take that away from them. Who is a 7'2" point guard? Smitty, do you know a 7'2" point guard?
No. Well, I know a 7 foot. I know a 7-footer that's got handles, but not a point guard. Not a legit point guard, though.
And see, now we're moving into the era of, and I saw 2K do this, and I think they're just taking this approach that with LeBron James and people like him, that there's positionless on the floor now in the league. There's no such thing as positions because you have these guys who are 6'8" who can handle the ball, or you have guys who are 7 foot who can shoot outside and all this kind of stuff. When it comes down to it, there has to be a point guard. There has to be somebody who facilitates. There has to be somebody who's willing to go down into the post and get rebounds. There has to be somebody who plays the wing. They're all positions, no matter how you define them, or else it would be utterly chaos running out a team on the floor and they don't know what position they're playing or who they're checking or this kind of stuff. So this whole idea of positionless basketball gets on my nerves as well. And I see 2K using that with the program saying that there are no positions or people are not pigeonholed in positions. So I don't know, man. We'll see what we get from 2K, but I'm on the fence. They're going to have to really earn my purchase this year. Last year, they've been caught up in the hype. I mean, I've been caught up in the hype, and I've just gone off the name, not this year. So.
Yeah. I can't give it to them. I can't give it to them either. That's what I've been saying. I mean, I respect what you're saying. Like, I respect what they're trying to do. At the same time, though, I can't fully, outright give it to them. And I'm sorry, I'm getting my thoughts a bit crossed up in regards to this because from what AZ was saying about how you have 7-footers playing guard spots. Like, I know that there are guys out here like the one 7-footer that I was thinking about was Thon. His name is Thon Maker or Thon Macker.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
And he's a high school guard, and he's got legit handles. You know, he's a bad man. But when he played against another big, like they had him play against one of the top bigs in high school that are about to go. I think they're about to go to Kentucky, and the thing is, it's not like he's not 7 feet. He's like 6'8", 6'9", playing power forward. I think between 6'8" and 6'10". I think I don't want to call his height exactly, but he was going legitimately. He was going head up against Thon, and he was taking it to him a bit, but. It's not like my man is a legit point guard. It's just that you never seen a big man have handles. Like, you're not going to see a big man have those kind of handles normally. Like, he's got a legit crossover. Like, he can legitimately cross dudes up. Like, it was an anomaly when we saw Shaq do it against people, and it was like, oh, snap, oh, you see what Shaq did? Like, you would see him do a little quick cross, and people got a big old rise out of it. It's like, no, my man is. No, go ahead.
I don't want these companies, even though it is a video game. I know you play it how you want to play it. You don't make rule of the exception. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron James is the exception. He's not the rule. You know what I mean? He's not the. You're not just going to pull somebody out of the hat and say, "Oh, that's LeBron James." But it seems like with 2K, I'm not sure about Live 16. But what we've seen from 2K in the past is you get a certain height. I think it used to be like the shooting guard position was overpowered. Now it's LeBron James and small forward. Everybody can make a LeBron James, or everybody can make a Steph Curry. And sure enough, you should be able to do that if you earn it. But the whole VC model just kills it when people can just purchase their player outright, buy animations, and the animation is glitched. I've seen diehard 2K players say that they just mix up animations. Like, they'll get this package paired with this package, and then it doesn't miss. Like, I've seen people go out on the park and shoot from, like, 42 feet away from the goal, and because they got a certain animation package, it goes in. Like, that's the kind of stuff that, your quality assurance, your game testers need to be catching. And as long as you have the arrogance of saying, "Oh, I'm 2K, we have the best animations in class or in game," all we need to do is bring out people for a community team up, then you won't further your brand. You need to bring people in there early enough to see it and try to catch those things as early as possible so they're not lingering legacy problems. Shout out to, as we know, you, and Sim know, Z-Falls and Gibbs for the role that they play in the community, in the Madden community, of catching things that would slip out into the public. Like, 2K needs a Gibbs and Falls. Like, why don't they have those type of people who will go to an event or even in-house to catch those type of things so they don't get out to the public? This animation with this animation gives you this, and it's unstoppable. No matter if you got a hand in somebody's face or whatever, it's because the animation is glitched, the ball's gonna go in. Like, that kind of stuff angers me about 2K. So, I know we kind of veered off topic, but you were saying about how, it shouldn't be, like, if you're going to make a 7-foot point guard, you should be the worst player at that position. There's no reason you should be able to have LeBron, strength, Chris Paul's handles, and Dwight Howard's shot blocking ability as a 7'2" point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, the type of player you are, you have to pick and choose your battles, because if you make, that point guard, he should be slow as crap. I mean, there should be some advantage to making your player a regulation size. Like, once you bump it up to oh, I'm going to make me a 7'2" point guard. Okay, that's fine. He's going to be slow as crap. He's not going to have any dribble packages that would allow him to be successful and so forth. So until 2K starts addressing those things, they in my doghouse, man. And I know I'm probably we the only ones that really put them there, but they in my doghouse for doing stuff like that and not addressing issues like that.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll say about it before we go ahead and move on here was, I'll say this. The other problem is this. Everybody wants to succeed. You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to be able to be the superstar out the gate. So then that way, I mean, when you look at, there is no, well, you played in the rookie showcase or whatever the narrative is this year that, Spike Lee put in there. There is no, you know what? You pick your college. Let's say you play in high school. You play your high school game, and you don't do all that hot. You go to a college. You're not starting. You know what I mean? You don't become a starter off top. You don't become. Right. You play a reserve role, and the most you are is a glorified reserve. You know what I'm saying? And then you go to and in college you do like what Corey Maggette. That brother, when he came out of college after that 1 year, I think he was averaging just a hair over 10 points a game. But yet he was the top pick. You see what I'm saying? It's like people want to be able to play, and I mean, it's not their fault, but I mean, when you look at guys like QJB, and you look at the iPods, and you look at, even our dude Shake, when you look at guys like him and D-Man and all that, when they got their My Player, they're out there balling. They're out there running, they're going rim shot all over the league. You know what I'm saying? Even back then when you were doing your McCoy series, same deal. Like when people see that entertainment wise, they want to get in the game and they want to do what y'all did. Oh man, I want to average dang near 30. I want to carry the whole team on my back. I want to be that guy. So when they play the game, they're not.
No, I think it's nobody wants to grind for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's just right. Sport. People see the results of what happens on game day, but it's the stuff that leads up to it that makes you that type of player. And for me, those are lessons that you can teach in video games. To me, like you can teach people that hard work pays off. It doesn't have to be about instant gratification all the time. And it's to me, with the whole VC thing and people being able to do that, they're buying into the system of instant gratification, and it eats at me inside because I know what that leads to. It leads to people who down the game because they can't be LeBron James right out the box, which is ridiculous to me. It took LeBron James 30-some odd years to become LeBron James he is now, and he had to put in a whole lot of work to get there. He didn't just step out of his mama's womb and be like, "Yo, where the ball at? I'm finna dunk it." Like with his umbilical cord, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, son. Put in some work. So, to me, those are the type of lessons that can be missed and not teaching. And 2K can teach that. And hopefully, I don't know. We hadn't played 2K16, that they start to veer away from VC being a money grab and it be more so for like accessories and all this kind of stuff. But buying your player right out the gate, that's ridiculous to me. And I know we have detractors and people who say, "Yo, I don't have the time to put in." I understand that. Then when you get out there, you shouldn't expect to be LeBron James. If you go online, know that you're going up against people who have been putting in the time. And that's just like, for instance, I'm not a big MUT player. I play MUT when it first comes out, but once people start getting those ridiculous cards and a 97 speed Tom Brady, like, come on, son, I don't like that type of play. That's why I'll be playing draft champions, if anything. But when it comes to that, I shouldn't expect my team, if it's 66 overall, to beat somebody who's 97 overall or has 99s all over the field. I understand that at football principles, if I know more than them, I should be successful. But more times than not, the more playmakers that you have on the field, the more Hall of Fame players, they will eventually show up and make a play. It's like, if I got Calvin Johnson, I mean, not if I have Calvin Johnson. If I'm playing Calvin Johnson and I got Jamarcus Sanford out there at corner, 9 out of 10 times, and maybe one time he gets a pass breakup, but 9 out of 10 times, I should expect Sanford to lose. He's not a top corner in the league. So, but it should be the same way to me with 2K. You shouldn't be able to buy your players, especially not online. Like offline, if you want to buy your dude, make him LeBron James, fine, do it all you want to. But you should have a separate character online, just like FIFA Pro Clubs and how EA does it, to whereas you have to earn your stuff playing online. Offline, do whatever the heck you want to do. You ain't harming anybody or the landscape of online gaming by being cheesy. But when that stuff filters online, that's when it becomes a problem.
Right. Yep. And what I want to add, one other thing on top of that is you have games like Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls. These are some of the hardest games out there. Now, mind you, they are RPGs, so I mean, I know it's not something you can just purchase something and get ahead, but that's the thing. They don't go by that kind of model. Now, I'm pretty sure if they did do that kind of model, they probably would say, pay for this, whatever in-game credit, and we'll get you this special weapon. But they'll still make you go by the rules of the game, which is when you die, you got to start all over again. Unless you make it to the limited save points that they have in the game or whatever, you're going to lose all that you had. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there is so you can spend that money. You can spend that money, and let's say if you spend that money and you don't make it to the save point and you end up losing that weapon, or you lose whatever power-up that you had or whatever XP you gained and you didn't get a chance to distribute it because you died before you reached that save point. Like the game is that challenging to the point where you'll mess around and die, and that's it. It's over. Like, you got to start all the way back over again at the beginning, and that's the game. You know what I mean? So it needs to be like people, and that's the whole thing. People will play the game based off of that kind of model. They will do it. It's just who's willing to stick with it, though. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, oh, well, we got to conform because these people were upset. That's why when they took the D-League out the game, like, they took that out because people complained. Because you had to actually go through something to come up. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's why I like the D League is part of the game, and that's why you see these dudes showing now, like, yeah, we got the Summer League back. I'm like, but that y'all had that before, and people whined and complained about it. So, you know what? Maybe they'll be more receptive because it's my player that's getting all this attention now. So, like I said, we'll see what happens in that regard there. But
I mean, it should be interesting to see how 2K rolls out, because to this point, we haven't seen any concrete sim gameplay from them that we're accustomed to seeing. Like,
right.
To me, whenever OG gets a chance and whenever Czar gets a chance and they get to showcase what they've been working on, that to me will be when I'm saying, okay, I'm pre-order the game. But all this flashy stuff of, Pro-Am and my player, they beat that drum too many times, and I know the rhythm, and I'm not dancing to it this year. I mean, I've danced to it in the past, I ain't gonna lie, but at the same time, this year, I'm taking a stand of, you know what, earn my purchase, because it has to be more than just brand recognition with you. Like, I'm not just gonna buy a Jordan shoe because it's a Jordan. If I don't like it, I'm going to wait until you drop something I like. So, same thing with 2K. Like, you have PC mods, like you were saying earlier, to where people can just play, NCAA with it, old teams like you did, like you've shown on your channel, you play with the old presentation and the old look to it, which to me is, like, just amazing. Like, I don't have that kind of PC, but if I did, I would probably be playing that and be happy with it. You know what I'm saying? So If 2K16 comes around and gets people to purchase that normally wouldn't do it or on the fence like me, because I have to see these legacy issues. These legacy issues have to be answered to me because they're getting frustrating.
Yes.
I'm frustrating. They're getting to the point of, okay, each year you adding stuff and you're doing stuff, but are you doing something about uninterruptible animations? Selective ball tangibility. I mean, it's thousands of videos on YouTube of 2K flaws. Balls going through people's hands and selectively, you know what I mean? And bad computer teammate AI and all this kind of stuff. And it seems like 2K just ignores it. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see if 2K16 did it. And we, conversations that we've had in the past with OG, we know what he's about as well as the Czar. And Mike Wayne, even with his innovation and what he tries to bring to the table each year. But I understand also with us being behind the curtain with EA that they have bosses. And if the bosses say, yo, we rolling out this, you need to work on this, and they negate those features, I still got to call them on. So.
Yeah, because we were told, like I said, I mean, I don't know if you were told, but I was told on Twitter by some of them dudes over there at 2K that gameplay aspects that were legacy problems, ball tangibility specifically, was fixed. They didn't say anything like, well, we moved the needle on it or we made some developmental strides in terms of eliminating. Like, no, they said it was fixed.
That journey,
you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't fixed. Yeah, that wasn't fixed. And even the and like I said, and those are my two biggest hangups. That and the animation, getting sucked into all those animations and your player relative positioning not being fully respected. It's only partially respected. At times when you cross somebody up, yeah, they'll get left in track. They'll get left in the tracks and everything because they're out of position. But it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen nearly at the rate it does in live. And that's the thing that has me questioning live. And I just want to say this about live because I know we've been on 2K quite a bit. But what I want to say in regards to live is this. Live is, look, Gamescom is going on right now. Okay? They got, they got like another 2 days. Like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It's over on Sunday. They need to showcase Live 16. They said that news was coming at Gamescom. At some point, you had some people cut videos upset because at that EA conference they didn't show anything, which to me is crazy. That's where you need to show that. You got all these videos out here. You got Phantom Pain getting love, like I was saying earlier. You got Phantom Pain. You got Mafia 3 getting shown. You got Battlefront being shown. Matter of fact, just like how you got Madden with the draft champions, you got it. They have a similar mode they're doing in FIFA. Same deal. With the whole thing, like you open your pack, you get a beast player and everything, and you get a whole bunch of support players, and you play. Like they've shown all that stuff at E3, and not E3. I'm sorry, at Gamescom, and that's giving people. You're enticing people to play the game, and you see people tweeting about it and talking about it. Well, live is it's like this. FIFA is at the top of the totem pole with the sales. Live all the way at the bottom of the sports barrel right now. And you're not even showing that yet? You're going to show that off the stage? Like, no, you need to show that on stage in front of everybody. Like, everyone needs to see that.
I think Live is missing a big opportunity. And I saw, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw a tweet from them to somebody saying that they're not at Gamescom, which to me is a mistake. Like, here's your chance to go toe-to-toe with a company that is not showing gameplay, and you have a mode as well that hasn't been seen. What are you doing? Live is missing a huge opportunity, in my opinion. Now, truth be told, to me, from public opinion, what I've seen, people are optimistic about live. They see it and they say, okay, it might be worth checking out this year, just from what they started to show. But if you get to the point to where you have built up this momentum, you show gameplay, and then people become dissatisfied or say, oh, that's not like I thought it was going to be, now you've taken a step back. So whereas to me, the earlier you get out there, I always say that the earlier you get feedback, the better it is for you. You can go back to the drawing board and say, hey, this is what people liked about it. We still got time. Let's tweak this here. This is what we can touch. This is what we can't touch. This will be in the future. And go from there. But the fact that you're not at Gamescom, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I read it wrong. But if you have your computer up, Smitty, go to EA Sports NBA Live, go to their Twitter feed and look. I don't know. I think it was yesterday. But they said somebody asked them about footage, and they said, we're sorry, we're not at Gamescom. I read that, and I said, are you kidding me? So I don't know what happened there or why you wouldn't show up to Gamescom, but that is a mistake. But once again, like I always say, I didn't graduate from Harvard with a business degree, business administration, but that is a bad move if they are truly not at Gamescom. But I'm still optimistic about live. Those on the show know that I've gotten my hands on it. I enjoyed it thoroughly, to be honest. Live has refreshing points. Like, to me, now that we're talking about live, if they can merge some of what 2K does, but still keep their identity as live, they're going to be in a good space. Because I think what we've seen with 2K is having too many animations can be a negative point. And we've seen with live not having not having as many animations can be a negative point as well. So to me, if you can blend that in some shape, form, or fashion of finding that balance between over animating and under animating, then you'll be in a good space of what you want to do as a game, because you don't want to take away user control. Whereas, like in 2K, you have somebody dribbling right in front of you. You hit the ball, or it seems you hit the ball, but the ball is tied to an animation, so it doesn't come out because people want to be flashy in 2K and say, oh, I did this, when all you did was just trigger an animation that was uninterruptible. So whereas on live side, you have user control, but you have to where let's just say you had a ball on the left side of your body, you make a move and go to the right, but somehow the ball's still in the left hand and you're moving in, on the right direction. Like, you have to have transitional animations to get you where you need to be. So to me, you have to find the right blend, the right balance of not going overboard like 2K, but not having as much like we've seen in the past with previous live, like live 14 and 15 was good. I don't think people slept on it or gave it much chance. The 15 was light years better than 14, in my opinion. I mean, you probably spent more time on it than I did. 14, that is, but I played 14 and I was like, oh, I can't do this. But then when I picked up 15, I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see how you're trying to improve, and I can actually play this game. 14, I couldn't play, but I don't know. How was it for you? 14.
No, live. 14 was that. That's what I had said before, and I mean, I caught heat for saying it, but it's the truth. At least, my truth. That's how I felt. My opinion. I felt that the game was Darko Milicic. You know what I'm saying? It was on a Darko Milicic level. It was extremely raw potential, unharnessed. And right. It was like it had a lot of basketball. Like, the game, the crazy thing about it is, and I had tweeted this out making a point to some people. And it was pointed out by Good Game Brothers, those guys over there, you know, which are some game changers that coincidentally that they, you know, they run that site. But they did an article about Live 14 and talked about defensive play, how they do it in real life, like those particular teams they've shown, how they run them in real life, and how they're better replicated in Live 14 than they were done in 2K14. How the logic was that much better. And I mean the proof was in the pudding. Like, they shown real life, then they shown 2K, then they shown live. And it was like, wow, like it was irrefutable. Like, you couldn't make an argument against it.
Is that article still out there? You think it's still out there?
It probably is. I would have to find it, but yeah,
find that.
Yeah, but it was irrefutable, and that was the whole thing about it. It was like you couldn't truly see. Well, like if you just looked at Live 14, you'd be like, man, why are you playing that? That game that looks terrible, but it was the raw potential. Like, when you play it, like, that's the whole thing. It's a game you genuinely would have to play to truly enjoy. And see, like, you would have to enjoy it for the basketball it had in it. And it's hard to see it because what basketball, the perception of what basketball is out here is basically an and one mixtape. You're looking for crossovers, you're looking for spin moves, you're looking for flashy dunks. And if you do all that, especially in the video game landscape, that's what's mainly looked for. So if you do all that, that's what's legit. But that's not what Live 14 really gave you. It gave you a game where if you have a guy that's hot and he's hitting multiple shots in a row, they wouldn't necessarily just do the typical thing that we're used to seeing. Oh, we're just going to double him because he's hot. We're just going to double him. And that's going to leave all these other people open. Like, no, they'll actually adjust the one-on-one defender. They'll make you drive towards the baseline. They'll make you play to your weekend. Like, they'll adjust their strategy. And that was like, yo, like, I was loving seeing that. So,
and see, but people didn't play it enough to see that. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
That's something that you had to spend time to see.
Yeah, and same with 15 to an extent. It's the same deal with that too, because it didn't have the visual appeal per se, but it started to garner more of an appeal. You know, not as much, but just a bit more. You know, but I mean, like I said, overall, it still was raw. Like a year too Darko somewhat. That's how I felt. You know, I'm like, if Darko got the opportunity to play, and he was here in Detroit and got that chance to play, and he was averaging maybe 15, 20 minutes per, this is the kind of effort that it came out to be. Like, he did decent. He would have some nights where he would light it up, but not enough to garner a starting role yet. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that good. He's not proven. 16 could be the game where it's like, okay, now these dudes ain't playing. You know, so, but yeah, I'm looking at the tweet right now here. Like, I'll just read it for you guys. Said somebody asked, and they had said, apologies for the confusion. We're not scheduled to be at Gamescom. We got all the info you need right here. Now, see, that's that manipulation tactic, because technically they did put out a tweet saying during Gamescom we got some things to show you. So they said during Gamescom, but how we take it, you know what I mean? So it's like how we generally take it though.
Yeah, they could have something during Gamescom, but not be at Gamescom. I see what you
right.
So yeah, so, I'll hold out hope. How many? You said it's 2 days left. 1 day.
Yeah, 2 days. Like, it's over. It's over on the 9th. So they got, you know, I mean, it's over today. Yeah, so they got 2 days basically, like 2.5. I would say 2.5 days.
Yeah. So, because to me, you have to counter. 2K is putting out news. Let's see what you got, because you don't want to lose ground. And unfortunately, how we've seen in the public, people in social media can just take stuff and run with it and make it look more than what it is. So, in all actuality, even if live showed more up until this point, now the 2K is just starting to constantly bang out information, put out 2K cast, screenshots. It looks as though as we get closer to the finish line that live is losing. But they may well not be. So that's why I said just at least keep up. And if you have a hammer in your back pocket, now is a good time to put it out because 2K is starting to come out with stuff. And in my opinion, like last year, I would say, speak to people and they'd be like, oh, wait, we got something that's even bigger than this. We got something still coming. We still got stuff in the chamber. This is in regards to 2K15. And those were like 2K TV, My Park, with the affiliations and all that kind of stuff, which true enough, and the face scan, which true enough, that stuff did hit hard. But it was the hype of them. They weren't delivered on correctly. I know people have forgotten the server problems and the issues with 2K15, but I haven't. The face scanning issues and people having their looking like the Predator off of standing right in front of the camera but having bad lighting. And so what Live has done is taken that element and say, you know what? We're not going to make you stay in the house. You can get a face scan anywhere from your phone. So they took what 2K did and improved upon it out there as much as 2K's news is out there. See what I'm saying? Like, Live is doing stuff that's like more covert. And they need to be confident in what you're doing. Put it out there and let people run with it. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I'm just glad we got competition and I don't have to play 2K basketball. If I don't want to, I have a choice in Live. Competition is always healthy in sport. Anything that you do, because you can always do better when somebody's chasing you or if you're chasing somebody. So,
right. Yep. And one last thing I wanted to add on to what you're saying there. Remember at E3 when the face scan was unveiled there, it was like, oh, look how easy it is. Now, that was the key thing. They were on the main stage at E3, and they even took some shots with the whole server stability thing. Clean online, connectivity. Look at how simple it is. Let me bust out the smartphone real quick. Boom, boom. Just rotate once or twice, and then I'm done. And bam, you're in there. See, that kind of stuff right there, you did it first. That's the number one thing. You did it on the grand stage. You did it on a grand stage. It doesn't matter where. You did it on a grand stage, and people got to see it, and you've shown it. And you've shown how quick and easy it is for the function. Now, why not do the same thing with this game? Like if you go to the Live Twitter account right now, they posted a tweet showing the start menu of the game. Like it's a little 15-second clip, but it's literally the screen, and it shows Russell Westbrook in real life, just doing some dribbles real quick, and it has the press start flashing on the screen. Like you need to show you're not in a position to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
2K's in a position to do something like that. You're not. You need to show us like what you got. So, because your game's not selling. Like I said, that game, the price reduction was real quick right after the game came out for Live 15, and that thing hit the vault real quick. I don't think they had plans for it to play out that way. So you need to come out and strike hard over, so you got 2 days. You need to strike, while the iron's hot, and drop whatever it is you need to drop. Because otherwise, you're going to be in some deep trouble if 2K, don't let it, I will say this, don't let it get to be, I don't know, when 2K does their streams on Tuesday, don't let it get to be Tuesday, 4 p.m., because they said they coming with their gameplay stuff relatively soon. That could be next week. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them beat you to it, and you haven't put anything out. So that, Don't do that. Especially now you got people already feeling upset because you weren't at Gamescom, but now you're literally not at Gamescom, so that's going to be even more people that are going to be upset. So you're going to have to diffuse it by saying, all right, guys, this is what we got, and show it in a nice form, presentable form, because with all this social media out here, you have plenty of people that'll spread that news like wildfire, especially if it's on point. So
yeah,
we'll see, man. But it's just passing the top. We're at the top of the hour, just passing it by. Yeah, and we talked about everything. Now, one thing that AZ touched on briefly, we'll just touch on it real quick, and this will be the perfect time to bring the callers in. So if you guys do want to call in, after we touch on this, we'll bring you guys in regards of what makes you pre-order a game. Now, the number to call in, of course, is 516-453-9126, and press 1, and we'll bring you in. We already got 2 guys sitting in the queue there, and we'll bring you guys in. We got 267 and then 205, and we'll bring y'all in after we touch on this. So, just to expand on it a little bit more, I'll let you go ahead and take it, AZ. Like, what is it about a game that will make you want to jump up and say, you know what, I got to go ahead and get that pre-order, versus just sitting and saying, you know what, I'll wait till it comes out because there'll be plenty of copies and I'll get it at some point.
right. And I'll take that off the top and give my point. I'll give yours, and if we have callers, then they can call in and give it. But to me, what makes me pre-order a game is the momentum that it carries. First off, it's always going to be gameplay. I talked about this the last time I was on. Video games are meant to be played and should be enjoyable while playing them. So if a game has great gameplay, that's priority number 1 for me. Then on top of that is features. What features does it have? Is it I'm going to beat the campaign, or play a season in it and be done? Is it going to be stale? What longevity does the game have? And I think one of the most recent purchases that I can think of, and people have heard me say this, that it's been the best purchase that I've had on this generation thus far, and that's been Batman. And to me, Batman doesn't really have good longevity past the campaign. I mean, you can do side missions, you can do DLC and all that kind of stuff. I understand that. But as far as what I thought or what it could be, it's not that. Because, for instance, I haven't beat the game yet, but I've heard somebody tell me this recently. He said that the ending of the game to him was disappointing because it wasn't what he expected to be, and how he's introduced the characters throughout the game. So I don't know if people have beat it or played it, but this would be my ending to Batman. It would be dope. Like, you beat Batman, then once you beat the game, you can play as Azrael, Nightwing, Robin, such a Red Hood, but without DLC. Because for those of us who played it, know that you get introduced to Azrael as being one of your successors, and you go through trainings with him. Basically, they build it up as if he's going to continue, and you can continue the game with him. And I haven't beat it, so I don't know if that's true, but from what I've heard, that is not the case. So obviously the game ends, and maybe some scene at the end that has them all together, or fighting crime as Batman retires or goes through Nightfall, whatever the protocol is. So to me, that would be features, longevity. How long can I play the game? That's what makes a great game. That's why we played minus features, because All Pro Football 2K didn't have great features. You can only play one season. But to me, if they had have included franchise and regression and progression of stars, that could have been the greatest football game that we had seen on last generation. But to me, it's got to be gameplay, features, longevity. That's what makes me pre-order a game. Not hype, not trailers of, oh, that looks nice. Because as we often see, trailers can be CGI. They don't necessarily, or they can be cutscenes, so they can look nice, but as a representation of the game, that's why I don't get hype off screenshots of NBA 2K and Madden, because when you play the game, it doesn't look like that. You know, when you pause the game and go in, of course it looks like that. But we play at an angle to where you're either backed up away from it, and I know they have the new camera angles in there now to where it'll bring you closer in, but the game doesn't look, you don't play the game how it looks in screenshots. And that, you know, because you have to see so much more of the court, the field, you know. So to me, it's got to be gameplay first and foremost. Will I enjoy playing the game? How long will I enjoy playing it? And then I guess, you know, as a third, multiplayer, which to me feeds into how long can I play the game. But multiplayer, does it have a great multiplayer as well? So those are the three for me that get me to say, if you got those three in order, I'm pre-ordering. The gameplay first and foremost. What about you?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that as well. The game, it's the gameplay, the quality of the game too. That's huge, because Batman and Arkham Knight is the whole Arkham series really is that's a great example, because that's a game that, and I mean, mind you, this is a game that does not come out every year, you know, and they pushed this game back. So they pushed it back, and I'm glad they did, because of what the game has. Like, the game has a lot of good stuff in it. I love the depth. I love how they made it a true open world experience like that. You can, you know, get the Batmobile. It's not something you got to essentially earn to use. It's like you have it off rip, and you just get it in. You know what I'm saying? And I love that about this game. And I mean, I loved all the side quests and missions and everything, because see, that's that additional immersion, because I'll finish one section of the main story. I'll finish a part of the main story. And then when it's like, when I'm on route to head to that part to continue the main story, I'll get hooked into something else. You know what I'm saying? There'll be like several guys on the street. I'll jump out the car and just battle with them real quick. Or like I had there was a part of the main mission that I had to do, and I'm heading like clear across town. I see the burning fire station, and then that's how you fight that one enemy, that pyro guy that flies around. And I had a heart, and the thing is, when I focused in on his mission to get him, or his segment, I had to like, I was spending all kinds of time just driving around, because the places, you just find them at random. So it's not like you can just point it out on the map and then you just drive to it. And I just so happened to just come up on it when I wasn't even thinking about it, and saw it, and I said, bump it, let me go ahead and do this. And that kind of stuff right there, like, I'll do that, and then I'll see the mines in the street and do that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that gets you involved and keeps you immersed in the experience of that game. And when you have games like that, or if it's a legitimate RPG with a good storyline, or, you know, and once again, the integrity of the series, you know, like I was talking about earlier, Mafia. That's a game that, you know, I wouldn't mind necessarily pre-ordering. Like, right now they just got CG trailer out there, but I'm talking about, like, once they have legit gameplay, because the game don't come out till next year, but once they put out some legit gameplay, and I see everything you can do, and they just continue that on from the second, that'll be a game that I'll definitely make the purchase for. And one last one I was talking about earlier that was shown at E3 was two games. I'm sorry. Number one, Phantom Pain, and number two, Hitman. Now, Hitman, in its own right, I enjoy how that game is ran, how that game works, functions, how you could go about doing the missions in the game as well. I love all of that about the game. And it's kind of like an open world perspective because it's like they basically give you the target and they say, okay, this is the target. This is who to look out for. Yeah. Now, do what you got to do. And you can do it however you want, and I love that about it. So, yeah, exactly. And to see that Phantom Pain is the same deal. If you play Ground Zeroes, I mean, that's really a tease, but they're taking Metal Gear, which has great story, at least in my opinion, great story, great action to it, the way they have it all set up, and even the mechanics and the twists and everything they put in there, I love it. And now they're making it open world, so now you can do the same thing, kind of like Hitman, same deal. You can approach everything however you want. If you want to go in guns a-blazing, you can. Or you can do the traditional stuff like back on the PlayStation days. The original PlayStation. And sneak around, sneak past everybody and complete the objective that way with, minimal casualties or knocking people out or whatever. So, that when you give, you got to give that immersion factor. And that's why when it comes to sports games in particular, you don't see me go out here and reserve them. I used to, but now I don't necessarily reserve them now because they're not at that quality level where I'm like, yo, I got to reserve that. But I will say this though, and I mean, people can say whatever they want because I'm a game changer and all that stuff or whatever. But I would say this: Madden 16. If I went to E3 on one of them days, and let's say I was never a game changer and all that, if I went to E3 and I was able to get in there and I played that game, I definitely would be reserving it this year. Madden 16, no doubt. I would be reserving that this year. So, and that's just, you know what I mean? We know what's up.
I don't know if people do the legwork of listening to the interviews, but if I was one of those detractors who hadn't played in a while, but maybe listened to us and then saw that what we've been saying without being in coordination with other people and other sites is starting to come true, then I would definitely be pre-ordering it because stuff that community's been asking for and the stuff that we've said was coming is coming right on down the pike. And not only that, like Sim's interview with Rex, some of the stuff we've mentioned in the long vision is there too. So,
yeah. And you know what? And I said, jokingly when we was in the studio, I'm like, AZ gonna mess around and go up an octave. You know what I'm saying? Off of what happens in the game, I'm like, he gonna be impressed. I'm like, I'm telling you, and sure enough, AZ, we was all like we usually do, but it was different this time though.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, like we always point stuff out to each other and say, yo, look at this play, look at that play, look at this run, look at this block, look at that tackle. But it's how it all is coming about. Like it is not the same way this time, and that's why I want people to get their hands on it. We want people to get their hands on it and see what's being done. And I mean, you're always going to have people that think it's the same game. I'm not worried about that. What I'm focusing in on is people who objectively see what's going on and what we've been demanding for, and see the game for what it is, and see like, yo, okay, these dudes got it. Like they're getting it there. Like they really are getting it there. And like I said, the proof is it's going to be very proof positive when people can see gameplay. Because I mean, you saw what Sim put out there with the with that Hayden punching the ball out, and look at how many views it got, and look at how many people reacted to it. Like, they were like, "Yo, I never seen that before," and I'm like, "Man, you ain't seen nothing yet." You know what I'm saying? There's so much more. So that's why we genuinely cannot wait for you guys to experience what we got to experience. So, you know, for those that give it a chance and look at it from an objective viewpoint, like that's how I feel you should approach any game for that matter, but especially one that's been under the negativity cloud for so long.
So if you had the 1, 2, and 3, you said quality of gameplay is number one, right?
Yeah. Quality in gameplay, integrity, like the series, the integrity of the series to me. Depending upon what it is, like if it's sports, you know, if it's a RPG or whatever, or even an action game, the integrity of the series is huge to me. And I wouldn't necessarily say online because I don't play online. Like, it depends on the game. Like, if it's Battlefield or Call of Duty, then yeah, I would say the online makes a difference. But really, gameplay, I would say the, not just the gameplay quality, but I would say the immersion and depth factor of the game. Those would really be my top 3. So,
for instance, Uncharted, pre-order, non-pre-order?
Oh, Uncharted is a pre-order. That's a pre-order.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like that, yeah, no, that, my wife even loves watching me play that game. So, like, no, that and another game that was out on PS3 back then, Hard Rain. That's a game without...
What did you say about Mafia?
You said what?
I said, what did you say about Mafia? You said you were on the fence?
No.
You need to see more.
Yeah, I need to see more. They just have a CG trailer out for it right now. So I wasn't a fan of Mafia 2. Like, I liked it and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't to the point where I'm just like, OMG, they announced the 3rd one. I gotta reserve that now. Like, it wasn't like that to me. You know, but when it came to Hard Rain and when they shown gameplay for it and how the gameplay style, even though that's a game that, you know, that was a one and done game, but it was the style, and see, that's the whole thing, the style of how the gameplay was. That to me was the style of the game, the story, and the dynamic of it all, because you had multiple endings you could have with that game. You could kill main characters off, and then the game just continued. It wasn't like they died, and then it wasn't a forced storyline. Like, if certain people died off, then that twists how the whole story ends. You know what I'm saying?
What was that, Mafia?
No, Hard Rain. It was on PS3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, games like that, I would definitely not mind, and especially if it's a new series like that. Like, that was a new game. I'm not talking about one that's continued like a Batman or a Mafia or a Assassin's Creed or something like that. Like, that was a one game where it was unique like that. And it reminded me of a game, well, some people call it Fahrenheit. Others, I think overseas it was called Indigo Prophecy. Similar kind of game in that sense, where it was a real story-driven kind of game, and you perform actions and everything, and the story really pulled you in. And that's one of those. That's what Hard Rain was to me. It was a game that really pulled you in.
You're talking about Heavy Rain. Right? You saying hard? You mean Heavy Rain?
Oh, it was Heavy Rain. My bad. Yeah, Heavy Rain. My bad. It's been a while.
I knew what you were saying.
Okay.
I just want other people to get confused. Yeah, Heavy Rain.
Yeah. Heavy Rain.
What was your take on the order? Because you and Sim were big on that out of E3 last year.
The order was, I knew it wasn't going to be this 30-hour game. I knew it wasn't going to be that. But want to get because that was a true next gen gaming experience. And that's why, like, number one, I mean, the graphic, even though I'm not huge on graphics, but the graphics, the detail of the weaponry, I mean, the story was good, the action was good, the cover system was nice, the shooting, all of it, like, it was all done real well. And how everything flowed, like, from cutscene to action was seamless. It wasn't like you know what I mean? And when I was playing it, the first time playing it, I'm up here getting shot up and everything because I'm like, oh, snap, I'm supposed to control it now? Like, I didn't know because I'm not used to that. I'm used to, you know, cutscene and then is there some kind of pause and then it goes into the game action. So to see it be one straight up flow like that, that's why when Sim and I walked away from it, it was like, yo, this is a true next gen experience. It just is unfortunate because the game was not that long, but I like the risk they took. They did something new, they did something completely different, and they did it solely for next gen. So it took them 6 years to put that game together. You know, from you know, I guess research and development to actually building it up and programming and all that stuff, design and everything. But the main thing is they have a solid base for a second game. Now, what they do with the next game, who knows? You know, they got a ton of feedback, positive and negative about it. So I would seriously hope that the game is a lot longer. But at the same time, we already know that it's not gonna. Well, I would hope that it doesn't lose that graphical fidelity and quality that it had. I mean, every bullet you shot landed on the ground right there. Like if you was in a particular space or whatever, it was right there. It didn't go anywhere and all that. Like it's crazy. And all the weapons they had, for the exception, like, you know, some of those fantasy guns. I mean, they were fantasy, but they, at the same time, they were realistic weapons that would be able to be made in that era of time. So that's what made it so interesting. That was another level of intrigue for it as well. It's like, yeah, these guns are kind of crazy, so, you know, certain ones they had, but they were legit to that time period based off of, you know, how technology was at that point. So it was a lot to it. Like, for it being a short, you know, a 6, maybe 7 hour game, there was a lot of depth to it.
So what about a title like The Division? I mean, we've seen that pushback, and now we've seen people say that it's starting to lose fidelity.
Well,
what are your
thoughts? I would just say because, well, look what happened with Watch Dogs. That was a game that was put out back in.
I regret that.
Yeah. So look at Watch Dogs, and then even look what happened with Assassin's Creed Unity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it took them putting together a 10 gig patch to get the game right. You know, that should have been right at launch. So it's like right now, Ubisoft doesn't have the strongest reputation right now. And then here you go again with another Ubisoft title. Now it's a reputable series, you know, a reputable Tom Clancy title, but you're losing steam because you have these games belly flop at initial release. And I mean, I picked up AC Unity not long ago, and I mean, it's a good game. And I see the beauty of that Anvil engine they got in there. Like, it is beautiful. But that's with me downloading that patch before I even started playing it. So if I didn't get that patch, I would say, you know, okay, yeah, it's a good game, but it's got a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? With all these technical glitches, you know, errors, they can't make these things.
Liddy.
Basically taking someone down on tablet while you got other people in the game playing, and they should be able to just cross link up, and you can play that way. So they got to really step their game up. Like Ubisoft really has to step it up with this game. So if they belly flop it, that's going to hurt, especially with Assassin's Creed coming out first. So if they flop on that, and then you flop that too, they're going to be in some serious trouble.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I mean, I understand, and with title, I like Ubisoft. To me, is or Ubisoft, however you pronounce it, is one of those companies that's starting to lose reputation because of how they're releasing their titles. But I don't know, especially with them not having to be yearly. Imagine if we had a sports game that did not have to be a yearly title. The kind of improvements that we would see from a 2-year development cycle. Not only from, Madden, but 2K, FIFA, excuse my son. Yeah. FIFA, NHL and what have you. They could do so much more in the long run with having to say, all right, the pressure's off. We have this much time allocated, as opposed to we got to be gold by July 31st. So I don't know. Yep. Maybe the pressure brings out the best. Excuse me, son. I'm gonna have to pass it. Yeah. Maybe the pressure helps a little bit. So.
Yeah. You know what? And I mean, we'll truly see the benefit of that when it comes to that UFC, because as I don't know if you know about it, but they posted it on OS I think last week. This is for people that lived in Canada. People in Canada, they put out an open invite for people that are in the area or the vicinity of the studio. They can come in and beta test, or play test UFC 2. The EA UFC joint. So,
right,
whenever that game is announced, whether E3 or they do it at some other point in time prior to E3, that'll be the first game that we've seen that's a sports title that wouldn't be a yearly release, that we know is on a cycle, but it's on a multi-year cycle. And we'll see what kind of difference is made between then and now. Like, is it a big difference? Is it a small difference? Because with a PGA Tour, like that game just came out, and who knows what they're going to be able to do between this game and the next one. So that'll give, UFC will give kind of it'll give a decent barometer, because they gave a lot of free content and gameplay updates. They did for those few, actually all the way out, I want to say till dang near December. Because the game came out in June, and it was like nearly December, and they gave, free fighters, and they updated the game with additional fighters, and, and did all kinds of gameplay tweaking and balancing, as well as, so there's a lot of stuff that they were able to do post-launch that made the gameplay a lot more legitimate, considering that initial effort. So, it'll be interesting to see come, the next installment, what happens, like how that gameplay quality is. So, but what I'm gonna go ahead and do here, I'm gonna bring on, like I said, we have two callers in the queue, so no one else. We also have 337 that's in the queue and 803 that's in the queue. If you guys press 1, if you guys want to talk, we'll bring you guys in. But let's bring these guys in, let them give their thoughts, speak their piece, or what have you. And first of all, like I said, we got 267, and then after that, 205. So here we go.
Yeah.
267. I went to CEO. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Hello? Hello? Yeah, you on air, man. Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, my fault. Nah, what's going on, fellas? I was just calling in about the NBA Live thing, man. I was expecting something from Gamescom. I know it's still like a couple of days left over there in Germany, but I just wanted to get y'all intake on 2K as well. Like, my thing about Live is, first though, you know, I played Live 15. I actually bought it on release, and I bought 2K on release because I feel like when it comes down to those games, you know, competition is needed because 2K has been slacking, in my opinion, since 2K11, which was the greatest 2K to date to me.
Yeah.
But when you look at NBA Live has came a long way, and I've always been a EA guy. I always played EA Sports titles. Back then, 2K wasn't as good to me as it is now. Back then, and my favorite NBA Live game was 2005. But you know, I see guys on YouTube like Prime, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Like, the brother's cool. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, when you look at NBA Live, you have to notice the flaws of NBA Live as well, just as well as 2K. Like, I always said that 2K has too many animations and Live doesn't have enough animation. So it's like,
right,
when you look at both of those games and you try to do a comparison, people like, oh, they need to make it like 2K. Oh, they need to make, 2K need to fix the ball tangibility like Live. You know what I'm saying? Or they pick and choose what they want to take from each game. And we got to understand that both of those games are two different games. You know what I'm saying? They're two different games by two different companies. But like I said, NBA Live just fixed the animations. I think the dribbling. I was just watching one of Shake's videos, and the dribbling, I don't think it's as responsive as NBA Live used to be. Back in NBA Live 2003, when freestyle control was first introduced, that's when NBA Live was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can do all the little spin moves to the hoop and do a crazy slam. That's true. You can do that. You know what I'm saying? But back then, you know what I'm saying, that was considered realistic, I would say, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, everybody played live. You know what I mean? But that's all, man, really. And I think with this 2K, this Pro-Am stuff, man, like, people need to stop tripping and open their eyes. We had the Summer League before, like y'all said earlier in the discussion, that the Summer League and the D-League was taken out because guys don't want to grind. I'm a Legend 2 in 2K15 right now. I played over 3,000 games, knocking off demigods and everything. You dig what I'm saying? I play on a regular basis. You understand what I'm saying? And those guys are scrubs. I'm telling you, like, if you got to go out there and make a 7-2 point guard just to prove your point, you're garbage. You're garbage. You brought your man with VC, and you hyped him up to be the LeBron James of the park. And when you get those guys, everybody want to be a superhero. When it comes to 13,
right,
the score is 13-8. Score 13-8. You come down, want to shoot a half-court shot. What, bruh? Like, what's up? What's all that for? Then you get the dudes that's thirsty. You know what I'm saying? They may not touch the rock for a little bit of time in the game. Then they want to be the hero and make the game win a shot. Like, look, man, 2K need to address that. They need to address those hacks. They need to start banning people, because at the same time, I have a family, I have children, and I work, but I still find time to go ahead and grind on a late night with my homies, and we have fun. That's what takes the fun out of the game. Bring the D-League back. I want the D-League back. I want the Summer League. Bring all that back, because now you're really going to see where dude's skills is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I love the park, and I love what they did with the park. I'm glad that the Got Next is gone from the JRC, but the JRC is garbage. I'm just sorry. It's trash. So
it's not,
you know, I say, right. Like I stay in the park, man. Like I said, over 3,000 games. I'm a Legend 2. I'm on my way to Legend 3, and once that happens, I'm gonna get that before 2K16 come out. And I don't even think I'm gonna grab 2K16 right out the gate. I need to see something. 2K needs to show something. I don't want to see no off camera. You know what I'm saying? No off camera. My touch. T-Mobile my touch camera phone recording. I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let y'all know I was the guy that tagged y'all in that video of Madden when a guy caught the ball and he wasn't even looking at the pass. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
I'm the guy. I called in a couple times before, but man, keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all doing great for the community, man. And I'm definitely gonna keep calling in and chiming in on giving my opinion on what's going on, man. So y'all just keep doing your thing, though.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for calling in, man. We definitely appreciate you calling in to the show here. And and he had just came in, by the way. 757 came in. But now before we bring him in, just want to ask, AZ, is there anything you wanted to add on?
Nah, man, that was a great call. He pretty much hit it on the head and pounded in what we've been saying as well. And those are kind of guys I'm talking about. Like, as he said, he can beat the Denver guys and the people who make 7.2 point guards, but it's still not an enjoyable part of the game. See what I'm saying? Like, when you get on there, say, for instance, I was fired up right now. And I get on there, and I get on the guy next spot, and I'm standing next to a guy, and my dude, let's say my dude is 6'8", and this dude is towering over my dude. I already know what kind of game that I'm in for. It's not a game of basketball. It's a game of video games. And dudes like us, simulation players, we looking for a game of basketball. We looking, and the same thing with football. We're not looking for exploits and how to exploit the game and cheat in our favor off some attributes and all this kind of. We're looking for a chess match, not checkers. And I think he made a good point of saying that. And being an adult of having a wife and kids, and you just want to get on there and enjoy some time with your boys. And for 2K not to ban those people, because we've been seeing hacks since 2K11. Yep. I don't know if you remember the dude who, I think his name was like Sex God. You could send him a USB and he would hack it for you. He'd make an 11-foot my player for you. Like, why didn't you ban that dude then? And like people who are doing this kind of stuff, making Stretch Armstrong players, the Lob Mob, shout out to him. He showed me a picture of somebody's arm like stretching way up to the backboard to get a rebound. Like, ban these people. Like, I don't know, man. We'll see when 2K comes out. But I doubt it will change, man. I doubt it will change. But I hope to be wrong.
Yeah, and see, that's why we say they got to show and prove, man. They got to show and prove. That's why I'm a bit, I'm on the fence. I'm a bit torn because I need to see that the game is fixed, but at the same time, I do like 2K15. Like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy 2K basketball. It's not that we don't enjoy it. It's just that these are things like they're sitting on their hands with gameplay improvement, but they going all out on features. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. When it used to be the reverse order just a few years ago, because 2K11, when IGN reviewed it, they gave that game a 9.5, and they said my player is just drab. It ain't no big catch. It ain't no big draw. But now my player is a Spike Lee joint. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like the tides turned when it was about the gameplay, and you had that intro, like we said before, the most, at least in my opinion, one of the most epic intros for a sports game title. There was no Jay-Z. Yeah, 2K11. No Jay-Z, no Pharrell, no.
You only saw one. I said you only saw one.
Exactly. Exactly. When you first fired that game up, you got a treat. You know what I'm saying? And that, see,
they kept that now. That's the kind of secret that you keep, not gameplay.
Yeah. Exact. Boom. There it is. I don't even need to say anything else on that. What I'm gonna do is not skip over you 205, but 757 had came in. As soon as he speaks his piece, we'll go ahead and bring you in. We got 20 minutes left, so it's plenty of time. We'll bring you in and definitely break some, give you your chance to break bread for sure. But we're gonna go ahead and bring in 757. What's going on, big man? What you got for us today, man?
What's going on, man? It's been a busy day. I'm getting ready for the launch of the new shoe for the, up and coming school year. So we're getting ready for, the kids that's, back to school launch with the company. So I'm just crazy busy. So I appreciate y'all, allowing me to get in. But I missed the show, most of it. So I'm going to just, do what I normally do. What I'm going to be talking about today is, this journey that we've taken with Madden and EA. I think that I've watched this whole process from the moment that I've called in on my very first time to now. I think what has been very unique, and I think that we got to kind of give Madden some props for, is that when you look at Madden and you compare it to some of the other bigger launch titles, that those guys are able to, the other launch titles are able to show you a trailer and then a few years later be able to put out a game without us seeing the mistakes and the journey that they've had to get to in order to get there. When you guys first start getting with them and this new crew came in with EA, they had to create what we have or about to get in 16 and go through this journey in front of our faces. From, when they introduced the new technology, they knew that it wouldn't be perfect, but they also knew that it was also on a deadline, but they was also in the process of switching over from last gen to this new current gen and having to go through this process of having to give us a game within a short development cycle, but still put us a product in front of us that we had to play. What I liked about it is the transparency that they said and continue to say to you guys. You guys relate the message to us, and they relate the message back to us is that we're not there yet, and it's a work in process. 16 is right around the corner. I'm so excited with the fact that I feel like we're finally going to get what I consider a more of a next-gen title. Weight and momentum, AI, guys not being stagnated, the rating system being leveled a little bit, but still gameplay representation still seems to be seamless. And you don't notice that the guys are not running 98 speed. They're still being able to get in front of receivers. You're still being able to place the ball where you want to. What I want to see is, I'm hoping that the AI is represented. I'm still playing a little bit of 15, trying to get ready for 16, and I just want the players to do what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. And we're only allowed to control one player. So the other 10 guys have to be able to do whatever it is that we're trying to do at that moment. I'm excited about that. I'm getting an Xbox One just simply to play the game early. Call me crazy, but I want to play it. It's not a lot to say, man. It's around the corner. You guys have delivered true, authentic messages to us. Fellas, this is what is currently going on, and this is where we're going. You guys said us into 25 that we would see some things in 16 that we'll kind of start turning turning the corner. And I feel like that, AZ Conference said this will be the turnkey game. And I'm excited to be able to play that and really get immersed in with the football game that we're about to play in 16. I'm also playing 2K basketball. Their cover letter is unbelievable. And what I mean is saying that the gameplay is not, it's a lot of stuff in that gameplay that drive you crazy. but their presentation is on another level. When you hit threes, you'll see the whole stadium, and the guys who hit the shot putting his hands in the air and getting excited. How they go to in my GM, they'll show you player stats and how well they're playing. If guys are getting tired and how you got to sub guys in and out during the season because they're getting worn out. I'm hoping that we get to that place in Madden when we get into a connected franchise, that you got to do a whole lot of substituting and a lot of chess pieces moving around like you would in a normal game to get guys through the season and into the playoffs. Man, I love y'all guys to death because y'all been true to the sim community. Y'all take a lot of hits. A lot of people be running their mouth about this, that, and the third about y'all. But one thing can't nobody say about y'all is that y'all lied to us. And that y'all haven't went into that room and said, this is what the community wants. This is what the sim standard wants. And let's put it out there. I just hope that they continue to push the genre forward. Because when you look at EA as a whole, whether you're talking about Madden, whether you're talking about FIFA and Star Wars, it's some things in those type of games that I hope that this shared technology and innovation is spread across the board on movement and innovation. There's so many things in these games that I'm hoping that Rex really says we need that over here in Madden. What FIFA got, we need a little piece of that, and brings it over there. And guys have to figure it out. We can't complain. I know you guys haven't told us, but it's a lot more buttons we got to be pushing. But with Sim, I believe, put a system in there, or guys that made them put a system in there where we can control more DBs, linebackers, and defensive linemen on the fly, which would not put us at a disadvantage on defense when a guy's trying to no-huddle us and get us in a bad play that we can still switch around. Man, it's almost here, and I got to thank you guys, all the other groups of guys who went in that room and said, man, just put it out there. Guys, just make sure that when this game hits and these guys start complaining because they can't cheese us and that they can't play Madden and they can't play football, that you say to them, we got to push the Madden culture forward and give authentic football. Guys, I love y'all, man. And thank you for your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
It's always good to hear from you.
Oh, yeah. Likewise. So, I mean, hey, I'm telling you, it's about to be that time. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be that Madden season. It's going to kick in full swing. Like, I mean, real talk. Hey,
mad. Like I'm after Meek Mill, I'm reconsidering using the Undertaker music because WWE trying to go out. Yeah, but I was sure gonna use the Undertaker music and say "Rest in peace, All Pro Football 2K." So I had to find another means to do it. So I don't want the WWE after me. Not that I'm, they would find my little old video, but oh man, it's gonna be time, and it's interesting because this year, like, you and I haven't touched it since we've been down, but Sim got a chance to play it at E3. But the fact that it's getting better, and, I'm pretty sure it's, near completion now, but the fact that it had gotten better incrementally in stages, and when we touched it, it was so much further along than it had been previous years, and they were ahead of ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
that's encouraging. So, I feel like a new consumer in that I'm waiting to feel what it plays like myself because it was good when we played. So
yeah,
and it wasn't all the way there when we played it. So I'm really anxious.
And that was that. And the funny thing is that was in the spring. That was in the springtime. So just think when the springtime is, you talking about that March, and I mean you talking about between March and May, I would assume, through that time frame there. So that's the last time we played it. And mind you, the way that game felt then was virtually how it would typically feel in June, and they had it there at that point, and that's what really has me intrigued is like from what these guys did, what are they going to bring? Like, what else can they do in terms of refining? Like, that's a good amount of time for refinement, possibly adding in things. Who knows? So that's why I can't wait. I can't wait, and that's why I want to see how people feel with this game in their hands when they play, and that's why I'm saying I want to see people with an optimistic outlook on gaming. You know, guys like VF and DJ and, you know, 205, we about to bring you in, man. You probably going to be the last guy for the night. But I just really am looking forward to how people feel about the game and react towards the game. Because you've seen that, like I said before, you've seen that hate and punch out. You think what you saw at E3 was legitimate justification. Like, no, not even close. So I really am looking forward to what people see and experience from this game, no doubt. So, but 757, it's always a pleasure having you call in, like always. And lastly, we're gonna bring in 205 here, man. What's up, 205? You on live with Sin Standard Radio, brother, man? What's going on, man?
You there?
205? 205? I
Come
guess
on,
not.
205.
Oh, man. You supposed to be there, brother.
Yeah,
oh,
if he heard us, then, you know, he'll call back in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I look at it like how 757 is saying, man, it's getting that time, man. People gonna have to sink or swim. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking forward to people having to play chess instead of checkers. I am. To me, the AI, as well as signature animations, are two big things left. If they did those without, you know, just improving anything else, would be huge upgrades to how Madden plays. Because you have signature styles of players, you have to differentiate players, but at the same time, the intelligence of the computer, like you said, we can only control one player, so you're expecting your defense or, you know, your offense to play and not inept. So when you call a play, you know, of course, it depends on the ratings that you have other players in that system. But, you know, you expect some level of football intelligence to be displayed. And hopefully we get that this year. Like I said, I'm anxious to play it because I haven't played it in months. And I recently gave my Madden 15 to my son because I knew he would either break it or lose it, and he lost it. So I won't be touching that anymore.
Oh, man. Well, I still have mine, but I haven't been playing it. I haven't been playing it that much. You know, I'm really just running through practice mode at this point. So
I don't think that you can play 15. I know 757, he's saying this. I don't think that you can play 15 and get ready for 16 because of some of the new things that they introduced. Like going back not having that passing trajectories and the passing game that they've implemented in 16, you will probably kick yourself in your own behind and be like, how did I not have this? Like in 15. So I know when I came back and I tried to play 15 and placing that ball while I was trying to throw it in between the safety and the cornerback or over the linebacker's head, you just simply cannot do in 15. And the fact that you can do that in 16, I know he's going to be jumping up and down at his house when he's able to do that. So.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say too, though, and shout out to Resolve. He did a video recently talking about press and release in Madden 15. I want to. I mean, like, it's been a while since we played the game, but I can at least say from the point when I played the game, when we played the game back then, and like a few months back, we can definitely say that you're going to truly see a difference between press and release in terms of skill rating wise. If a guy has real good release, you're going to see it. Versus like he did a video where he had Brandon Marshall going up against Darius Trufant, and he was playing on All Pro, and Trufant was basically he was legitimately covering him for the most part because of the animation that play out. Like, he did 5 passes, and 4 out of those 5 passes he wasn't able to get good release, even though Marshall has 99. He has 90
great release, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has 99 release. Trufant had 74 press, and he couldn't get off like how he should.
Because of the animations that he couldn't get off? Is that what he said?
Well, no, it was about the ratings. Like, do the ratings actually matter?
Oh,
because
it didn't
yeah, because they were playing press. Like, he purposely was playing press defense, press coverage, and he was on a go route, and every time he did 4 out of those 5 times, Trufant was with him in stride. You know what I'm saying? When it should be more like 3 out of those 5 times, Trufant got beat bad. You know what I'm saying? Because he got the release off. And what I'm saying is, I believe now in Madden 16, you're going to really see that difference, especially with the fact that they made more of an emphasis on wideout DB interactivity, and especially in those instances. So that's what I'm saying. With them working on that whole system a lot more up close and personal, I think that you'll be able to distinguish that difference when it comes to getting that release with a receiver like that. I mean, I definitely saw it with Calvin. I mean, when he was on one-on-one situations, he was getting free. So that's, that's what I'm saying. We'll see.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't be upset with losing with your best corner against Calvin, because that's Calvin Johnson. I mean, come on.
Right.
Man. Like, I mean, if LeBron James went off and you were playing the computer and LeBron James went for 40, 10, 15, and 8, who's to argue? LeBron James has put up those numbers before. So, I mean, it's not unrealistic to say that, if Calvin Johnson is up against your best corner, that he might not beat. I mean, he may beat him 8 or even 9 out of the 10 times. So.
Yeah. So, well, it's winding down. I'm getting the notification here. Got 90 seconds left, so we've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So I want to definitely say, you know what? Thank you for everybody that's either called in and listened, or we appreciate that as well. AZ came in a little bit late, but nevertheless, we got our double team on and we worked it out. I ain't never need no apology, man. We got it.
I mean, I try to keep my appointments as punctual as possible. So I don't like to be late because I'm a punctual person. So, but I had to go vote. But we got it in. We did what we had to do.
Yep. So with 30 seconds left, anything in addition you wanted to say?
No, man. This is the lull period, and hopefully pretty soon, if we get our copies, we'll be able to put out some content and start pumping out videos, and appreciate everybody who's listening, no matter if you listen live or through the archives.
Yep. All right, y'all. Well, till the next time, we'll holler at you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, and see y'all next week. Peace.
Shout out to Sim.
SimFBall, my dude. Take it easy.
Once again, guys, thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.